What's going on, Safemoon Army, Safemoon family? Thanks again for joining me for yet another video. If you are new here or have not subscribed, subscribe, smash that like button, share with all your friends. Just so you know, I am not a financial advisor. Anything you hear or see in this video is not financial advice. Before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to all my super awesome members. Thank you guys so much for being a channel member. Thank you for joining and supporting my channel. If you want to join and support my channel, just hit that join button below the video. And another way to support this channel is to go to my merch store and pick up some pretty sweet merchandise. So fly on over there and pick up some sweet merch and help support this channel. On today's show, we are talking about the liquidity lake that Safemoon is building with Swap by Safemoon. So strap in because here we go. Alright, this is where we're starting off today. Before I can explain what the liquidity lake is, I need to explain what a liquidity pool is and what liquidity is and how everything works. So just hang in there with me because this is going to get fun. So if we go to safemoon.education and you go to the knowledge base section, you can go into that section and you can search liquidity. And if you read down here under liquidity, liquidity is defined as the availability of liquid assets to a company or a market. An asset is considered more liquid if it can easily be converted into cash. The harder the ability is to turn that asset into cash, the more illiquid the asset. For example, stocks are considered relatively liquid assets as they can be easily converted into cash, while real estate is considered an illiquid asset. The liquidity of an asset affects its risk potential and market price. Now, all this is super important when you're thinking about cryptocurrency because you're wondering how is there a financial backing behind the currency or the token itself, and a liquidity pool just does that. Now, if we go under here to what is swap and liquify. Swap and liquify is a contract function used for accumulating liquidity over time. A portion of every swap and transfer is reserved for a swap and liquify contract function. This function triggers as soon as 500 million Safemoon tokens have been collected / transacted, and 50% of that, 250 million tokens, are swapped for BNB, paired with the remaining 50%, 250 million tokens, and then added to liquidity. Each time this function is triggered, the price will drop slightly to create a stronger backing in the liquidity pool. So you really want a strong liquidity pool to have a strong token or a strong cryptocurrency. And the reason behind that is when the sell goes off, you want there to be plenty of liquidity for the rest of the holders if people decided they wanted to sell, so the price wouldn't go down so much. So if you have ever looked at the charts of Safemoon and you saw giant ups and downs, that's because the liquidity pool is still being built up. Now, if we go down here a little bit more and we read under why does swap and liquify exist, the main reason why swap and liquify is used is to create a strong, healthy liquidity pool foundation. Now, guys, this is super important. You really do need a strong liquidity pool. This provides immense support and protection for the volatile price movement that normally occurs with larger sales. So if a whale sold off, I don't know, let's say a 20 trillion, actually it would be 20 billion now, wallet, you would see a massive dip in price because it would be pulling from the liquidity pool. It's all about creating protection to the holders, and a strong liquidity pool just does that. Well, I wanted to go a little bit further into liquidity pool, so let's fly on over to this. This is an article from coinsworldsnews.com, and if you read down here, it says how to give value to a cryptocurrency, liquidity pools, and rug pull scams. And if you read down here, it says liquidity pools are created to set the value for a cryptocurrency. So without a liquidity pool, you really don't have any value to your cryptocurrency. So you could own 100 trillion tokens, but if you have no liquidity pool, those 100 trillion tokens are worthless. They always have two cryptocurrencies in the pool. If you want to give value to your cryptocurrency, you need to be the first liquid provider of the token. And once you do that, you can create your own liquidity pool with one of the currencies set to your token address and the other to a popular cryptocurrency like BNB, Ethereum, and so on. These liquidity pools can be set up on PancakeSwap, Uniswap, and so on, and even Swap by Safemoon. And once that liquidity pool is set up, you can have buyers swap their existing cryptocurrencies to your token, driving the price of your token up. So as you have more liquidity, the stronger your token becomes. Now, what was this term that I used earlier on? A liquidity lake. Well, a liquidity lake term doesn't actually exist. That is something that I am coming up with because that is something that Safemoon is building. They are changing the space. And what my definition of liquidity lake is an undroppable token due to an overabundance of a liquidity pool. pool. So we will go into that in a second, but here's just one more thing I want to stress. If you read here, it says once the liquidity pool is set up, you can have buyers swap their existing cryptocurrency to your token, driving the price up. Notice it says to your token, but is it possible to drive up the cost of your token and the stability of your token by simply trading other tokens on your decentralized exchange? Now, I know you guys all heard of rug pulls, but let me explain that really quick. A rug pull is a basic removal of the entire liquidity by the liquidity provider and therefore making the token worthless. It is an ethnically and morally wrong practice to perform and is illegal in many countries as well. So basically, that's why a lot of new tokens pop up and they say we have a locked liquidity pool, so therefore we can't take it. But there is ways around that. They just develop themselves giant wallets full of tokens, and as soon as the price goes up, they end up liquidating all those tokens, pulling all the money from the liquidity pool. So they have found ways around it, guys. So basically, that just shows you that a locked liquidity pool will not save you from a rug pull. So now let's fly on over to this. This is something that I brought up in my last video, swap by Safemoon. 0.25% of the fee each time a swap takes place. Not each time that a swap of Safemoon takes place, it's each time a swap takes place on the decentralized exchange swap by Safemoon. 0.17% of every transaction gets deposited into the liquidity pool, further growing the liquidity pool for Safemoon. And also you have 0.05% of the Safemoon ecosystem and 0.3% does the buyback and burn. And if you look on over here, it says the buyback and burn is actually incorrect. We had a discussion a few days ago about this with Katz and he explained it. The 0.03% is simply just burn. There is no buyback. The buyback implies a 10% tax, which is not the case here. All 0.03% is just simply burn. Now, what does this mean? Why am I stressing this 0.17% liquidity pool addition? Because every single transaction on there adds to the backing of Safemoon's token. So that is growing the LP of the token, which is going to make it stronger. And in the future, possibly undroppable. Now let's fly on over to this. This is Pancake Swap version 2 and their 24-hour volume, which is $451 million. Now, why am I bringing up Pancake Swap version 2's 24-hour volume? Well, you gotta think of what Swap by Safemoon is. Swap by Safemoon essentially is basically the same thing as Pancake Swap, except it goes one step further. It is better than Pancake Swap because it vets all the tokens that it lists on its swap, so you are better protected from a rug pull. So by doing that, more people are going to want to be using Swap by Safemoon because they will have more security when they are purchasing cryptocurrencies. But this is the number that I want you to focus on, $451 million. 0.17% of that is $850,000. Now this is just a day's volume. Could you imagine that going into the liquidity pool every single day? $850,000 added to the liquidity pool every single day just by swaps and trades of different tokens that don't even include the swaps and trades of Safemoon, because you would get a higher percentage doing that. Now, if you fly on over to this is Uniswap version 3. They have $1.4 billion in 24-hour volume. Now, if Swap by Safemoon hit those numbers, they would be adding $2.3 million a day to the liquidity pool. The percentage in the liquidity pool would be getting greater and greater and essentially reach the margin of being undroppable. Now let's fly on over to this. This is the actual 24-hour volume for Swap by Safemoon. This is from DX Screener, and as you can see right here, the 24-hour volume is only 3 million, but you have to realize we only have 16 tokens right now. And how many tokens does PancakeSwap have? Well, they have almost 17,000, but every day we are listing more and more tokens. More and more tokens are getting vetted and added to the Swap by Safemoon, and it's further going to bring that volume up. Just a few days ago, that 24-hour volume was only 1.5 million. So in a few days, we doubled the 24-hour volume. And as more and more projects list, we're going to keep doubling that number. It'll keep going higher, and more of that percentage, that 0.17%, is going to keep being added to the liquidity pool, further driving up the liquidity pool of Safemoon. And And that is huge news, guys, because if they could build what I am defining as a liquidity lake, you cannot drop the token. That means the largest bag could sell every single token and the price would not go down at all. It would actually go up because of that 10% tax that goes on to each sell. Now, if we fly on over to this is my basic understanding of how you calculate the current LP percentage. So as of right now, we are at a 2.4% LP backing the Safemoon token. Now, that's just my understanding on how you get it, which is adding two different numbers together and dividing them by the market cap. I know there's a lot more to finding out the percentage of the liquidity pool, and that's why I left it to smarter people than me. And I asked Safemoon Gluebiz to actually put this on his dashboard on his website. And I believe that's how they're going to get rid of swap and liquify. They are just going to keep making massive amounts of gains to liquidity pool by using swap by Safemoon. And eventually this 2.49% will raise to 5%, 10%, 20%, all the way up to 110%, which is the magic number for a liquidity lake. And how fast will that happen? It just depends on how fast we get these new projects in there and how many people start utilizing it. But Swap by Safemoon is going to make the world's first liquidity lake, and we will be undroppable. And something super exciting, if you fly on over to this is SafemoonGluebiz.com. I have talked to him. He is actually going to put a ticker on the dashboard to show you the percentage of liquidity pool backing Safemoon. So as Safemoon swap keeps growing and the 24-hour volume keeps going up, you'll see the percentage of the liquidity pool get higher day by day until that percentage reaches 110%, creating the world's first liquidity lake. And that's all I got for today's show, guys. If you liked it, subscribe, smash that like button, share with all your friends. I want to give a huge thank you to U1M, Kat, Gandalf, Safemoon Gluebiz, and everyone that helped me figure out everything for this video. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next video.